to what relaxing and totally unrelated to an Olsen sibling video will have you watching today. Skype? Who the hell uses Skype these days? I'll just hang up. What the hell? I do not need this today. I have a D&D meeting in 10 minutes. Knock this off. What the fuck is this? Seriously, what is this? What's going on?
You fool. You may have forgotten what you have done.
But I have not. Those slide reviews were the most terrible piles of overused trash opinions I have ever witnessed.
Are you kidding me? Those old things? Really? Really?
Yes, really. It was so mediocre and generic that I could hardly tell if they were even your own opinions.
Hey, I take offense to that. I put a lot of time into those.
If you did.
Either way, you have offended me. And for that, you must be punished.
What the fuck is this?
I have brought you.
From the depths of the human cycle of suffering, one of the worst video games to ever exist. This is only the first of many that you will have to face. You should be very afraid.
Welcome to the full review, I guess.
It's a war out there every day. You can't hide from me. You gotta pray for the rules pretty cool. Got an out in the face of this outer street. When your friends and boss look alike on the face of it, they miss the history, but they fight all the place in it. Yeah, they fight all the place in it. Had it by the times, they just how the love goes by. I know it's not your fault to say, but there ain't no other way. So step on up to the place. Need your face, what can spread on into the light of us. Step on up to the place. 'Cause this ain't a game. It's time to make history, yeah.
Ah, yes. The Olsen twins. Two of the most famous blonde girls to ever hit the silver screen. Since 1987, the two sisters have been an integral part of American pop culture, primarily thanks to their shared role as Michelle Tanner from the well-beloved sitcom Full House. I myself have never really been into Full House. I've seen it at school sometimes, teachers bringing up it as examples and stuff, and I've seen a few episodes here and there when I was on Nickelodeon, but for the most part, when I'm watching a 90s sitcom, it's either Friends or Seinfeld. Needless to say, the kids became instant hits and wound up creating a plethora of spin-off films, shows, merchandise, and even a video game franchise. The subject of today's being the very last one produced. Developed by N-Space and published by Club Acclaim, Mary-Kate and Ashley Sweet 16 Licensed to Drive would be what was essentially the death of the publisher. As soon after its release in both 2002 and 2003, Acclaim would face legal action from the twins, ultimately leading to them shutting down. I'd feel worse about it if it wasn't because Acclaim did not pay the Olsens royalty fees for using their names and likenesses. That's enough with that though. I just gotta ask, what the fuck is this game? Okay, so the base of the game is that you are the Olsen twins, and you've just turned 16. You know what that means. That's right, it's time to drive cars, date boys, get arrested, crash your car again, go against traffic lanes. And did I mention crashing your car? This game, unlike its PlayStation and GameCube counterparts, is not a party game. It is a top-down driving game, where your task is to simply drive across the single, unchanging map to the yellow marked drop-off points, all the while kidnapping random strangers, going the
wrong way down a one-way street,
and getting your license revoked by the police whenever you fuck up. Oh, but that's not all. You also have to deal with a timer that's constantly ticking down, as well as the god-awful traffic all around this town, which hits close to home for me given that it's pretty much an accurate portrayal of Florida traffic. Cars just appear out of thin air, running into you when you're right in front of them, staying still when they have the right of way. God damn it, it just brings the road rage out of me. The story, if you can even call it that, essentially has you, as one of the two Olsen twins, creating a civilian-run taxi company. Kind of like Uber, before Uber existed. Wait, is this what inspired Uber's creation? Well, fuck! The more you know. Anyways, you go around driving people to places, picking people up from places, taking them to even more places. There's a lot of places you wind up taking people. Sometimes you'll find a straggler trying to get into your car to get somewhere. Let the straggler in if you can, because getting them to their desired location gives you a bonus, usually for your time limit, which can sometimes be necessary for those extra long drives the game will occasionally force on you. Outside of that, these hitchhikers have no effect on your end score after each stage and can be ignored if you so wish. To get to the point, this game is a piece of shit.
You see that? You see that? Yep. There. There it is, right there.
First off, while the controls for this game are relatively solid, and the car moves in the proper directions when using the D-pad, or in my case, an analog stick, the speed of the car is almost always at a snail's pace. It never feels like the car is going the speed I want it to, especially given the whole time limit thing that this game has. I recognize this is more of a personal complaint, but I can't stand the lack of acceleration that these vehicles have. It makes me feel like I'm actively fighting against the game to get the car to move. That's not even going into the terrible traffic AI that this game has, which, to some extent, I can imagine one seeing it as realistic. But just because it's realistic doesn't mean it's good. Cars sometimes just appear out of thin air, causing car accidents, and that nets you tickets from the cops. If you get 3 of them, you can kiss that level and your progress in it goodbye, because your ass just lost your license. This also applies to driving in the wrong lane or driving backwards, which, while I understand makes sense realistically, is also really irritating to deal with when you're just trying to avoid an accident or when you make a wrong turn. This game really loves its repeating circles when you make a wrong turn, by the way. It can get really obnoxious at points, especially here with this level in Chapter 3. You see, in Chapter 3, you're trying to throw a surprise party for your friend James.
Drop it.
This one specific level has you going around town gathering 5 friends, plus a DJ, to bring to the party. It takes an assload of time getting them all. And in some instances, if you wind up taking a certain turn early, you'll have to start right where you picked up the current passenger. It does not help that on top of this, you have the general issues with traffic that I mentioned earlier. But if you even accidentally get stuck in an opposing lane, you get a ticket. This is made even worse if you accidentally drive to the edge of the map, in which case, prepare for a game over because just doing so will push your car backwards, immediately landing you around 2 tickets if you're not fast enough. It took me almost 30 minutes to beat this level alone, and not because it was difficult, no. It's just that any little fuck up, and you're starting from the very beginning. Needless to say, not very fun. You wanna know what else is annoying? these voice clips. If anything could make driving along a single map over and over again more tedious, it has to be the constant dialogue that the Olsen siblings have.
My bad.
When you crash into a sidewalk,
I'm there.
when you pick up a straggler, and it's all the fucking time.
My bad.
This is not helped by the absolute lack of a soundtrack. Seriously, there are only 5 songs in this game. 5 songs! What is this? An indie pop EP? And even then, all the songs are your generic, run-of-the-mill, early 2000s video game techno pop. Except for the first track in the story mode, which is awkwardly dark sounding and doesn't fit with what I'd assume the mood of this game is. At the end of the day, I could only make it to chapter 4 of the story. It just got overly taxing, and I honestly feel like the game was never going to change up the gameplay style. My password was 9931542. Give it a shot if you fucking hate yourself, and if you do, tell me if it was as miserable as I expected. Oh, but that's not all, folks. We still have one more gameplay style to go. Not multiplayer, because I obviously emulated this shit, because I am not spending a single penny on this. Well, that just leaves us with arcade mode, and yeah, this is literally just here. Most of these are either pathetic mini-games like trivia shit, which I managed to get all the answers correct to within the first try, or just levels from the story where you deliver sushi, of which Ashley clearly likes a lot. I mean, she says it right here. You will not deny her sushi. There's races and shit, but ultimately, arcade mode provides minimal entertainment to a game that was already lacking in any entertainment. I do not know how to process this game. It's so terrible, and it's also the final remnant of Club Acclaim's existence. As far as licensed games go, this is probably one of the shittiest I've ever had the misfortune to play. I'm just hoping I never have to see anything with the Olsen twins in it ever again. Huh? Somebody's here. But nobody ever comes here. Who's here? I mean, who comes here to this place? It's Florida. Nobody ever comes to Florida. This place is just filled with wackos and nut jobs. Oh god. Oh, fuck.
We heard you had some bad things to say about our game. We will not tolerate such criticisms.
Hey. It's not my fault that this game has a full house of problems.
Yeah, baby, yeah! You're as insufferable as you are overweight. For that you shall perish.
It's just too powerful! Oh god, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
Come on out, fool. Face your death with dignity.
Wait. I may not be able to beat the Olsen twins, but I do know someone who can. Alright. I give. No match for you Olsen twins.
You foolish mortal. In your final moments, we hope you realize that you are beneath the magnificent power of the Olsen twins.
Forgot one thing, Olsen twins. You two are not the only Olsens. Get him, Elizabeth!
This shouldn't be possible! We're the Olsen twins! We're invincible!
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I don't know how to make it up to you. This really meant a lot.
No problem, fool. I'm sorry my sisters tried to kill you. They really don't like people talking about this game. It's like a blot on their legacy. Now I must go. Disney needs me.
Peace. Now, where was I again? I don't think it has to be stated again how utterly awful this game is. And I don't think any score given could ever truly encapsulate its terrible nature. Don't play this game. It isn't worth your time or money. Another one?
Dear fool, I see my assassination attempt failed to work on you. It would seem you are more intuitive than I had initially thought. I can respect that. So, I'll let this next game be more entertaining. It will involve a favorite hero of yours, one with abilities you have often found quite interesting. But be wary, for behind every corner will lie a battle. And soon, whether you like it or not, I will have your head.
My God. What kind of psycho have I pissed off?
Ha 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 ha!